We welcome you, sir, to today's lecture. I'm Dr.Asif, Head Division of Livestock Growth Technology. Sir, the training program was regarding quality assurance of Pashmina and Pashmina products. We cover all the facets of Pashmina processing and marketing, and blending, morphological techniques, chemical methods, and hands-on training, and GI stats also. So we are left with one important lecture which we thought that you are the person who will be who will do who is apt for that lecture, and that is molecular methods for identification of Pashmina. Sir, I may apprise you that we have a diverse group of participants in this training program. Around 20 to 23 participants are there. Most of them are Pashmina processors and marketing people. They are associated with the processing and marketing of Pashmina products. Then we have a few students from NIFT, National Institute of Fashion Technology. They are also associated with the Pashmina, all the textile fibers and as including Pashmina. Sir, I straightway will hand over the mic to you to kindly brief about the things. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful gathering where all the stakeholders are here who are involved in promotions of Pashmina product. So, because I am a person involved in the samples for the wildlife forensic and wildlife affairs, so it has been very frequently referred to our institute from other agencies to examine those cases and provide our opinion. So before going into detail of the Pashmina and other wool, structured wool identification, I'll just briefly give you some glimpses of the wildlife forensics, how it is being done.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your voice is not clear. थोड़ा सा mic को रखिए, sir.
Your microphone, the speaker is working fine.
थोड़ा सा loud कीजिए थोड़ा सा.
Okay. I guess it is visible and my mic is okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, now it's okay, sir.
Okay. So I'll be first briefly telling about my work in past and project as well as with the identification of the Pashmina and fiber fiber, which is very essential in trawl industry. So before joining this institute in 2008 as a scientist, I worked in a center for cellular and molecular biology, which is now called as a LACONT patent lab was established that time. So LACONT is the part of this MSME which was being established that time when I was working there. From 2002 to 2006 I was working in this MSME LACONT project. And I was involved in examining the cases using the DNA and molecular testing only. So I joined Wildlife Institute of India in 2008 as a scientist in wildlife forensics. And from now, from 2008 onward, I am associated with the WI and part of the institute. So I am handling the wildlife forensics plus the other project where molecular genetic was required. So my most of the specialization is in DNA related examination only. And being a wildlife forensic personnel, I am also looking at the morphological parameters. It is not always possible to examine each and every product using only one kind of technology or one kind of approach. Sometimes DNA test is very accurate and very perfect in identification of the species from the certificated product. And many times when DNA extraction is failed from the product, and it happens very often when DNA is not possible to extract from the product, then we try to look over the morphological feature available on the article. So we identify the species in our laboratory using both the approach and doing the suitability of the approach, which technology is going for that kind of sample. I'll be briefly telling you about, and it is my contact detail. I can be contacted by two different email IDs. One is skg@wi.gov.in. Another is Pashmina at wi.gov.in. Which I will be briefly telling you about our center also, which we established in our institute. So before telling you about the value of offense, so we must know about the richness of our biodiversity of our country. So even holding just about 2% of the landmark, we are trying to conserve 7 to 8% of the world biodiversity. So that is very huge. 7% of the landmark area. And out of 34 global biodiversity hotspot, we have 4 in our country. One is Himalaya, Indo-Burma, Western Ghats, and Sri Lanka, as well as Bhutan. When it comes with the wildlife affairs, so it is a variety of the product and it's the multiple channels, sometimes different channels. So and even wildlife affairs, when we talk about, it is not only the problem of the country.
Excuse me sir, स्लाइड्स मूव नहीं हो रहे हैं और दूसरा कि इसमें प्रेजेंटेशन मोड कर दीजिए.
प्रेजेंटेशन मोड नहीं है
सर. इट इज
नॉट मूविंग.
नो सर, अब आ गया सर, बट इट इज नॉट इन प्रेजेंटेशन मोड. स्लाइड शो मोड कर दीजिए.
फाइन.
स्लाइड शो मोड कर दीजिए.
हमें नहीं हो रहा है सर. आज सर हमें नहीं हो रहा है, इसने कर दिया था.
Again open with the different approach.
Okay sir.
Sir, open as whole window instead of tab. Share as whole window.
अभी दिख रहा?
Now it's okay sir. Now it's okay sir.
Moving now?
Yes sir, it's okay now.
Fine. So I was talking about the 4 biodiversity hotspot in our country, and the problem with the wildlife, it is not the problem of the country where biodiversity value is high, but it is also taken very serious all across the globe, whether the country is rich in biodiversity or not, because it linkages with the organized crime. So it is coming at 4th major organized crime after narcotics, illegal arms and human trafficking. And only from the illegal wildlife trade, the revenue generated across the globe is about 20 to 40 billion US dollars per annum. And it is not only leading to that country, but also many times it has been used a money laundering object, and even been witnessed the one of the emerging disease, which impacted through the illegal trade of wildlife only. Whereas the SIR, which is generated through all sort of trade, is shared with the many places activities, which we commonly call the terror funding. So that is a challenge, and all the enforcement agencies across are looking to stop such type of illegal trade, or many other trade. And another thing is that there are very limited expertise available in the globe, which can add each and every wildlife object. Because when we talk about, there are over 40,000 species talking about. So even for one derivative, for one species, that is not only one body part is floating in the market, but there are variety of the body part, variety of smuggled. So that is why identification very, very challenging task for the expert. Even within this picture, you can see variety of the wildlife object, which is in the different features. Like first one is the tiger, leopard, pangolin scale, shark fin, reptile, especially the snake, meat. So variety of things are there, and the live animal, the gecko, starter tortoise. So variety of species. It's one species even with its different type of body part, different type of product. And in Southeast Asian countries, so it's wildlife meat is taken as delicacy. So in the street food, you will see the variety of wildlife meat is being sold out as a street food. And even in Oriental region, it's a dried product, dried animal product is being sold out for the medicinal, so-called medicinal purpose, medicinal value. And it's a variety of ornamental objects which can see here, starting from the musical instrument to the souvenir articles. So variety of objects are there. So the purpose of showing this picture is to tell you that there are a lot of variations within a species, even across species. We cannot imagine how many products are floating. So majority of the time the cat were the target because cat body part, especially its bone, were taken as a very high priced item in Chinese market for its medicinal purpose. So a lot of bone consignment we are receiving our laboratory from all across the country. Even in a single consignment, you can see that there are three major bone of cat, especially it is a bone of leopard. You can see that there are three head, three skull is lying here. So at least minimum 3 leopard were killed for collecting this many bone. And another thing is that there are different type of articles. Sometimes composition is written there, like animal product, animal origin here, leopard bone is already mentioned in the label itself. And the lizard we can see here is panda or lizard. These are the few things which I through one presentation, but I have the list of variety of art images which cannot be shared in the short presentation. If you can look at this presentation, there are variety of product and variety. Here especially the tiger, cat, elephant, rhino, bear, coral, and there are many purposes, especially when anything is linked with its medicinal product, its value can go many-fold high, and that is happening in Chinese part. They believe that this animal product is having medicinal value, medicinal property, and with that belief they are consuming a lot of wildlife article for making medicinal preparation. And there are agencies already in place, including the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, State Forest Department, Police, SKUAST, and many others. And Wildlife Protection Act is on the top, which providing strong support to the enforcement agencies. And in the all agencies, if you cannot forget about the custom. So custom is also one of the important stakeholders, and they do come every year. All the custom officers, those joint Indian Revenue Service under custom and GST, they come to WIA for 1 week attachment. And during this 1 week, they are properly sensitized and trained how to identify, especially commonly traded species. We cannot make them expert, but at least we can sensitize them for the different type of the common article, which also include the Pashmina and Shahdood. They are trained and they are able to identify each and each product even without any technology, without any product, without any tool. So that is also simple tips available to identify the Pashmina article. And in our institute, we forensic laboratory in 1998 with the support of university, which was started in project mode in 1995. 2017, with the gadget notification, we have been exempt. So now our report is taken as a forensic evidence in the court. And this is the year-wise wildlife offence cases referred to Wildlife Institute of India. So every year you can see here about 300 to 200 cases are being referred from various agencies from all across the country. It is not only coming from one of the neighboring states, but it is coming from all the states, especially one of the remote states, Andaman and Nicobar Island, which is union territory. You can see the substantial number of the cases has been forwarded from that side. And mostly it has been registered by the Foreign Department, then police, board, customs. Many agencies are being sampled. So in our institute, these articles, so we identified that there are no single technologies perfect to identify these species. So we divide them based on their morphological appearance and based on feasibility in the DNA. So about 34% cases can be dealt using any sophisticated molecular tool. So that can be dealt using morphological test, which involve microscopic examination, osteological examination, and many other morphological ways like X-ray imaging and others. And then there are about 65% cases, 63 plus 3 you can add. So there are 65% cases which certainly require the molecular test, DNA test. So that cannot be dealt without using the DNA technology. So in our institute, we have both the technology in place. We use morphology as well as DNA. And I have been involved in providing the report of more than 2,500 reports based on DNA test. And DNA testing, I will tell you briefly that for that we need to have a repository. And we need to have good protocol for the DNA stations and markers, so that's already been taken care. We have the protocol to identify DNA, to extract DNA from even implicate samples too. Sometimes we can extract DNA from the processed bear bile, bear fat. The bear fat is also one of the objects going into the market, animal fat, and marker is already in place. And that is what the exact number which we need to deal with. So about 8,000 species in Wildlife Protection Act and about 40,000 species under SKUAST-K. So recently SKUAST-K has also been amalgamated into our Wildlife Protection Act. So we have to deal with the Wildlife Protection Act listed species. Those are the Indian species as well as the species. Those are found outside the India but listed in SKUAST-K. So preserving sample is also one of challenges early days. So we provided protocol how to send the sample in good conditions. So ethyl alcohol is good to preserve the sample, but not a formalin or formaldehyde. So ethyl alcohol preserved sample is good for the DNA test. And sometimes even desiccated sample or dehydrated sample with the presence of the silica gel can also be spent for the testing. Blood in the vial, but not limited to vial, but it can also be spent in the form of blood stain, which can be in the various particles, stone, leaf, log, ether, as well as in the weapons. So such type of particle can be used. Such type of blood stain can be used for identifying. This is a simple methodology how we can identify the species using DNA testing. So we extract the DNA, we do the PCR application, we do the DNA sequencing, and then we compare this DNA sequence within our database. And based on this DNA testing technology, we have provided report for more than 2,500 offense cases from our lab. It can be used in identifying species from the variety of the wildlife article coming from the elephant, including its tail hair, its ivory, its skin product, skin bead which can be on the palm. It is a skin bead, elephant skin bead. So all things can be identified using DNA test, even ivory, including ivory. But ivory also can be identified using this presence of this real line which you can see marked with the pen here. So real line is also one of the prominent structure of the ivory. If you see this real line on the transportation of the particle, you don't need to go with the DNA test. So these are the simple things which start you going for the needless testing, needless DNA testing here. So even we can do with the DNA, but morphology is even better, where we don't need to spend time in the sophisticated technique. Because the DNA test is going to take a little bit more time to identify. So sometimes we also look at the feasibility to complete the analysis in the short time. So that is why combination of the different protocol is going to help in differently. And it is all both are okay. Even if you go with the DNA, you go with the morphology, you get the same result. And here we have been used DNA testing to identify the exotic species articles. So like This the pink background article is the bear bile, and at the Delhi airport this article was caught. So this was similar to the bear bile, but not exactly that. And it was sent to us for the DNA testing, and with the DNA test we could know that it is of these two animals which is at the bottom, and the origin of this animal is either in North America or in Europe. So it is definitely not Indian species, but it was an American beaver which we tested here. So sometimes DNA is very accurate and give you identification of the species without knowing the background, without knowing the chemistry. So here the American beaver gland was caught at Delhi airport, which was brought into our territory by one of the Pakistani fellow. So who was bringing about 5 kg of this article and going to deliver it in Kannauj. So in perfumery it is being heavily used, this beaver gland, which is called castoreum. And castoreum is used for making artificial flavoring agent of vanilla as well as strawberry. So in 2006 it was removed in titles, so that is not a big deal, but we are able to identify even any of the unidentified objects using DNA test. Here the 4 different pieces of ivory idols which were very different looking from the Indian species were identified as fellow deer and fellow deer ivory, fellow deer antler, not ivory, fellow deer antler. Look very similar to the picture which we received from Nagpur. And this fellow deer occurs in Europe. So you can see here that Europe and America regions the deer antler is reaching to India, and we were able to identify using DNA test. So DNA test is very robust to identify species in certain situations when you can extract DNA from the object. And here this bear bile was very different than the actual one, which was alleged from the Palamu Tiger Reserve, that they have recovered 800 kg of bear bile, and one bear bile weight is about 30-40 grams. So for 800 kg, about 20,000 bear could have been killed. But when we did the DNA test, it was not a bear but half a buffalo. So sometimes people do claim wildlife origin, but it turned out to be something different, which is not even in any act. So we have provided report for that also. Sometimes people do catch person in a suspect eat, but in our analysis it turned out to be goat or sheep meat, which is a sort of mutton. So everything is thoughtful here, and with the DNA test identify accurately its origin. We are here and we are discussing in this meeting that some wool are being used in straw industry. There are many other also being used, not only limited to these 4 species, but there are Angora wool, there are Pashmina wool, there are Pashmina wool, and there are Tibetan antelope wool. Except that somewhere someone is also using this Tibetan antelope wool, which is chiru wool, for making straw, which is called strathul. All this can be identified by variety of ways, but the best protocol which is being accepted widely all across is the using morphological tool. And morphological features of the hair of different species is also very distinct. Like if it is Tibetan antelope or chiru wool, so its wool hair is about 10 to 20 micron, and if it is it's a guard hair which is much thicker, which is about 47 to 77 micron. And similarly, in Pashmina also, the guard hair is thinner than the Tibetan antelope, where it is 57 micron, but its wool hair is also very close to the wool hair of the Tibetan antelope, where its thickness is 12.5 micron to 30 micron. In stamina, we have the wool hair only features 15 to 22 micron, and blue we have only the guard hair feature, so where it is 55 to 140 micron, even it is much thicker than the Tibetan antelope. So it's the guard hair feature, which we can easily identify. And a guard hair is another thing which can be easily identified using morphological tool. But before that, I'll just briefly tell you about this species which is being illegal trade. That is Chiru or Tibetan antelope. So, Shahdud, the name itself indicates that is Shah and it means it is king of wool or wool made for the king. So, it is the first name that it's a very different or very elite variety of elite category of the wool. And it is in Schedule 1 of our Act, and in China also it is protected in Class 1 protected species, and in CITES it is in Appendix 1. So in any situations, all the countries and all the Act prohibiting its any commercial use. And its global population was estimated between 75,000 to 1,50,000, and that is only single population occurs in Tibetan plateau. And the poaching site is mainly in Tibet only. I don't blame in our Indian part, but it is being poached in Tibet only, which is in control of China. So Tibetan antelope is killed in very large scale, very large scale, and people do put lot of leg trap on its way of migratory route, and many animals getting trapped and immobilized in a harsh winter situations in one place, and due to starvation and the other climatic factors, they died. And once next summer season starts, so they go and plug the hair from its carcass, and that hair is put into gunny bag and sent back to the India through Nepal, through other routes, and once the waste mediator who are dealing the chilled hair, status hair. So they purchase this article from the traders, and then it is being sent to the center of where it is in Jammu and Kashmir, where chiru hair is converted to the Surat stall. As well as when these articles are being sold to India, so the chiru hair is being sold to India, they don't carry back the money or any because the article, the Indian wildlife article is having much more higher price in their territory than the any money. So they take in return, in barter trade system, if they sell bag of the chiru hair, so they carry the equivalent value of the bear bile or rhino horn or any of the prohibited item which is being used in China for the medicinal purpose. Because if they take back this article of the equivalent value, once reaching to the China, its amount will be tenfold higher than what they have purchased in India. So that happens. They bring the only one species because they have consumed everything. Only Tibetan antelope is left in our population, and most of the wildlife species in China has been wiped out. They bring it and they take back all the wildlife articles from country. So that is the very sad part in the chiru trade. And we can identify the species, even sometimes we can identify the presence of its guard hair over the stall surface using simple stereo microscope. Stereo microscope just magnifies the surface and it tells you the thread of the guard hair. Guard hair is thicker, which you can see in the picture. So on the right hand side picture, so it is the guard hair visible from the finished product. And if this guard hair is detected by any agency or any laboratory, it is very, very difficult to clear it as a Pashmina product because this guard hair is coming from the status, so it can be confiscated as status article. So that is another part. Most of the time when the guard hair is present, and our agencies are very good in identifying. So they identify guard hair and they provide they send this sample for the further testing into the lab. Because in morphology also, if you plug the guard hair, you take out the guard hair, it is very fragile. It breaks very easily. So on the spot itself, if any guard hair is breaking very easily, so they can confiscate it as that it is potential status stall. And once it is being sent to laboratory, then in the lab under light microscope, it can be further examined and identified as a Tibetan antelope product. So in this picture you can see that if it is a musk deer guard hair, so its feature is very different. And if it is a Pashmina goat, its the feature is here. And if it is Tibetan antelope guard hair, you can see that it is honeycomb-like structure, very distinct. And with this morphological feature can be distinguished from any other species guard hair. So not very detailed molecular testing is required for this. Though we have done molecular testing for the Stratus doll as well as Pashmina, so I will tell you in the next slide. So here we simply use the simple light microscopy. So for identifying guard hair which is thicker, light microscopy is more than enough. But if guard hair is not present, then we have to go through the scanning electron microscopy. So SEM is required once guard hair is absent and only wool hair is present, because wool hair thickness is very, very fine, 10 to 30 nanograms. So for that resolution we need to examine through SEM technology. So under SEM also we can identify whether the fine fiber is coming from the Stratus or it is coming from the Pashmina. So we can identify easily. But first target will be to identify using light microscope. We tried to identify the morphologically identified Stratus doll where guard hair were confirmed with the morphology. 5 doll we have taken out from the confinement. And those 5 dolls guard hair were further processed using DNA test. And it was already published in Forensic Science International Scientific in 2022. And when we did the DNA test, out of 5 guard hair collected from the doll, only in 2 cases we could extract the DNA. DNA is possible, can be done, but not in uniform structure rate. Because fiber or all when it is finished, so it is, there are a lot of treatment, a lot of dyeing process in that. And with the treatment and dye, so sometimes DNA extraction is extremely difficult and sometimes it is impossible to get DNA from the finished product. But it has been already been examined with the raw wool hair. And in the raw wool hair, we can easily extract the DNA because it is untreated. Once DNA extraction is quite difficult, and out of 5 we could get only 2 samples where DNA could be extracted. And those, so here what you will see that though all the 5 dolls were positively identified using light microscope as a Stratus guard hair wearing article, but using DNA test 3 failed and only 2 succeeded. Those 2 succeeded, it was identified as Stratus with the DNA testing, with the DNA sequencing, but remaining 3 were failed with the DNA, but it was passed with the morphology. So here the feasibility with the testing is that the DNA test is not appropriate for variety of regions, especially the DNA success rate from all the finished product is not possible. So morphology is well and very accurate test at this moment. And people are trying, we are already collaborated with the CCM Center for Cellular Molecular Biology, and we are working out with this, and they have already working with the other technology also, like Raman spectroscopy or the DNA-based technology, but it needs to be proven at the end. And once even proven, DNA test can be succeeded, but still this morphological test cannot be failed. It cannot be eliminated because morphology is simple and easy to identify, which you can simply take out the hair and examine, prepare the slide and examine under microscope. So we can add array of the technology in our list, but the technology which is accurate and which is perfect cannot be eliminated out, and it will never be. So that is what I will have to tell you here, and it is the paper which we published in 2022. So the same thing is here also. So there was a lot of demand from the wool tan industry to set up a legal place where their product for the identification, for the certification, and only certified Pashmina product will be sent for the trade outside. So there was a lot of discussion with the Export and Promotion Council for Handicrafts. So in the discussion and discussion in our ministry also, we came to a common platform that yes, we can establish a lab in our institute. Earlier, I was not opening a lab for the commercial testing, but with the satisfaction and with the lot of discussion, we could agree that yes, a lab can be opened for the commercial testing where trader can send their sample for the certification and only certified Pashmina product where we'll have this tag which you can see here with the arrow mark. So this green color tag is there put over the stall using the hot steel. So once this tag is attached, certificate is coming from the WIS authentic server, so there is no fraudulent. So with that, all Pashmina certified product can be are also getting sensitized of this technology. So this laboratory was inaugurated on 19th May of this year 2023 by our Honorable Minister. Consignment from the trader and this amounting to more than 2,500 to the customs border, so without any problem. We have been called in Interpol, especially European or American or anywhere, they are using the similar protocol, the light microscopy based protocol only, which because of its simplicity, using the same technology at various places. So the trawl which is cleared from India, it goes outside and it will be always be taken with fasting. So that is what I would like to tell you in this brief discussion. Now it is open for the discussion from your end. If you have any question or any doubt, you can come forward and ask your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your lecture. Sir, the topic is open for discussion, but I will start by my query. Regarding the DNA analysis, do you have a validated process, validated technique available in your Wildlife Institute of India for the DNA identification, PCR-based DNA identification of Shahtoos or Pashmina?
We have validated technology for PCR-based or DNA sequencing-based identification of Shahtoos and Pashmina. Not only Shahtoos and Pashmina, but even for the many wildlife article objects. So basically, our lab is the wildlife forensic lab. So we identify each and every species using the molecular testing as well as morphology course.
Sir, last few years, there is a huge cry among the Pashmina traders. They are approaching the ministry and other agencies for this purpose. They are mostly stressing that DNA technology should be there. But being the premier institute of India, yours institute, how authentic that test is?
That test is not feasible for all the products. What I can tell you at this point.
But the thing is that
out of 5 products, when only 2 can be succeeded, then 3 will fail. So it cannot be. Still, we are in R&D phase working with the system. And at the end, we may be able to come up with a successful approach to identify the species using molecular testing, but at this moment, it is not feasible.
Sir,
Now, it is okay. It is yes.
Sir, last year, just few months back, Ministry of Textiles had given us a project on that PCR-based techniques for Pashmina identification. So they are stressing that it should be put functional. Then in last meeting, they suggested that Karthik Tandya sir, he suggested that the technical staff of this SKUAST-K shall be given a training at Dehradun institute. So I mean to say, what about the authenticity? Is it going to work in our part of this India?
No. At this moment, DNA test is not feasible and not advisable, what I will tell you. Because it is not 100% giving the result in all the products. So, DNA test at all is not possible at this moment. But later on, if we come up with the better technology, printed article, like in the raw wool, it is possible. Almost this product, it is just 40% which we have shown here. So 40% success cannot be recommended for any type of validation.
In the studio, you are just putting that guard hairs are being used for identification. Why not fine fibers? Because getting few fibers, guard hair fibers from the Pashmina shawl, from the consignment, and giving a verdict on the basis of that seems injustice to the Pashmina entrepreneur.
Very,
It was discussed in number of meetings. I used to be present in those meetings.
I understand. There was meeting with the BIF and there was meeting with the other stakeholders. So we discussed many times that guard here and from especially the Pashmina industry people were coming forward and telling that it could be because of Pashmina, because of the contamination. But if it even it is a contamination, it is still coming through the various way, and at least it is reaching to the manufacturing area, which means in the same area, real circle pool is also being processed. If I'm not wrong.
No, that is okay, sir. But suppose there is a businessman, he is getting some shawls. There you'll see his consignment. There you will find guard here there. But that is not that guard here is not because of his manufacturing practice. वो किसी और की वजह से आया होगा. उस बंदे को क्यों पकड़ा जाएगा? बिकॉज अगर आप उसको फाइन फाइबर देखेंगे, फाइन फाइबर उस फाइन फाइबर के बेस पर अगर आप रिजल्ट दे देंगे, मुझे लगता है दैट विल बी मोर एप्रोप्रिएट.
गार्ड हेयर को वी कैन नॉट डिनाई ना. अगर गार्ड हेयर मिल गया तो क्राइम वहीं बन गया. प्रेजेंट ऑफ एनी प्रोडक्ट आर्टिकल एनी part of the wildlife species which is prohibited species, any crime. So whether it is deliberately mixed, whether it is coming through contamination, or if it is coming through contamination, so we must be ready to eliminate all the contamination in our area where we see
that is okay. But the question from those people are that why don't you test the main fine fibers for this purpose, for identification purpose? Why only guard here?
In fine fiber we require SEM, and SEM again need extra effort because light microscope is easier to perform than SEM. And once SEM is being done, then with the fine fiber also we will be able to identify the all product. But once it is confirmed with the guard here that yes, first step there is guard here, crime is established there, so we don't need to proceed further. That is what happening all across, not only in India but even abroad also. We know that there will be some part of the never it is a circuit guard here or chinu fine fiber is used in pure format for making the products. There is some mixing always. And what quantity of mixing, what amount of mixing is there, that is not part of the law. If it comes under the wildlife protection law, any amount of the wildlife article confiscated, if it is established that it is wildlife origin, it is crime. And whatever we are certifying and giving our certificate as Pashmina product, it is free from everything.
Sir, we have with us Dr. Sarfaraz Ivani. आप जानते हो उनको. He has a question for you, sir.
About guard here and seizure based on the guard here. There may be contamination, there may be inherent guard here of the Pashmina. There is, though I really agree, there is a difference in cortical structure of guard here of Pashmina and Shartuz. But why when we have established a national laboratory, which is a primary laboratory, which is having the only authentic laboratory which can give certification, and trade is involved, crores of rupees trade is involved, people's life is involved, because if somebody is arrested, his life is gone, his everything is gone. Why don't we, now you have SAM also, you have DNA characteristics, so why don't you, I request you please kindly lead guard here. This may be contamination either additional or somewhere. I agree that contamination in any part under the law is to be prohibited. But you can advise them and simultaneously you go for SAM preparation based on characteristics. You have SAM also, you have every equipment now. Maybe you charge them. If you have a sample is to be done, you ask them that we will be doing, you charge, pay us 10,000 rupees a charge, sample they will give. But based on the simply guard here, please look in it, because you are the only authority which can overlook and change it. Even if we give present whatever documents, nobody will consider us, because Government of India has set up only laboratory is your wildlife laboratory, there are those which can authenticate, especially for fibers. So it's my request that you go for that, look in it. And now it's another question that DNA cannot be. There are protocols developed, not in only, we have also developed outside also. Wherein in dyed fiber also we can get a DNA fiber, and protocol has to be slightly standardized because we can have a combined workshop together wherein we can standardize this protocol so that effective work can be taken out. Other people can come, our people can come, your people can come, the biotechnologists sit together, have a brainstorming workshop for a week together, wherein we can solve, because it's a national interest. Another, not only this sometimes loses our characteristics. When we send a consignment outside and then we seal one part of that. The country where we are sending the consignment, they lose trust on us. That is very essential because we have to maintain the trust to the countries where we supply also. And then only the trade, and biggest trade is Pashmina, which is going as export market. I request you kindly initiate a workshop or 1 day, 3 days workshop together, wherein people who have developed protocol, you people have some other people, even at FSLRA, this Biotechnology Institute, Hyderabad, they have also developed some protocol. If we work together, sit together and have developed for the people, because we have to work for the country. When we want to increase export for the country, we have to work together. Thank you, sir.
Can be structured, yeah. We have already also tried, you might have seen that paper, but not with the extreme structure. There are a lot of failure with that. So that is why it is not being taken as a one of the trusted protocol at this moment. We are working with the
What we have developed, other people and we have developed, that's a very trusted, they are doing it. You can kindly come up with us, we will work together. That's why it's a national interest. If we work together, sit all for those people who are working for it together, for it, they are only in your lab, so that effectiveness comes. That's my point.
If we add another technology based on DNA, but if any presence of guard here, it cannot be ruled out. And it is ruled out from our act and from our.
For that, you people have to try. For that, you people have to try, because it is only the wildlife institute we can amend it. Anyone in India cannot write. If you write to Ministry of Home, it can be done.
So that is the main issue what it is coming to. And we have also not only just from the trade of structure, but it's a associated problem. If structure trade is not stopped, then what is going to happen with the Indian wildlife? It is hampering the demand on the Indian wildlife, other Indian wildlife species also. There are a lot of demand.
I agree to you, sir, because wildlife has to be protected. Wildlife Act has to be, we have to bound by the Wildlife Act. But we have to give them awareness, other things also, because there is need to give awareness to traders. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir, for sparing your precious time. I thank you on behalf of myself as well as from the participants for to have some good deliberation upon this policy. But I request you kindly take a matter with the higher authorities regarding एक तो सर की बात ये कि दूसरा denotification, because yours is the only lab who can certify the Pashmina products. So I thank you for that, sir. We have a token of love for you, love from our side. I will hand over this to Dr. Sarfraz Evani. Sir, I will hand over this to Dr. Sarfraz Evani on behalf of you. He will receive this and